Jones from North Carolina.
Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that I might speak for 5 minutes.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, on July the 16th of 2009, I spoke on the House floor to express my thanks to the United States Marine Corps for their help in exonerating the late Lieutenant Col John A. Bro and the late Major Brooks S. Gruber, who was a resident of Jacksonville, North Carolina. On April 8th, these men were the Marine pilots of an MV-22 Osprey that crashed in Marana, Arizona. The mishap occurred during a training mission as part of a test phase to determine the aircraft's operational suitability for the Marine Corps. 17 other Marines were killed in the crash. From that day until today, I've worked with many aviation experts in the Corps and outside the Corps who helped me reach the conclusion that these pilots were not at fault for the crash. Over the past 9 years, many times, both on TV and in the print media, inaccurate reports have spread misinformation by faulting the pilots and calling the crash as pilot error. That's why it's so important to set the record straight. So in 2009, I asked the Marine Corps to include in the official military personnel files of Lieutenant Colonel Bro and Major Gruber a memo which exonerates them from any responsibility for the mishap. The memo includes 17 facts regarding the crash, which were developed based on my review of official investigations and public records, as well as extensive discussions with aviation experts. The evidence shows that the fatal fact in the crash was the aircraft's lack of a Vortex Ring State warning system and the pilot's lack of critical training regarding the extreme dangers of VRS onset in the Osprey. Mr. Speaker, Lieutenant Colonel Bro and Major Gruber and their families are dishonored by the assertions that the aircrew were at fault for this fatal crash. That's why I am grateful that the Marine Corps has accepted the relevance of these facts, and on February the 20th of 2009, they included my memo in the personnel files of these two Marines. To finally bring this tragedy to a conclusion and to remove the stigma that has been unfairly attached to these two pilots, I have written the Navy to ask that they do the same thing as the Marine Corps did in doing the right thing. By including this memo in the official safety investigation report of this mishap, Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to submit for the record my letter to Rear Admiral A.J. Johnson dated June 11th of 2009, which includes my request and the 17 facts about the crash.
Without objection.
Thank you, sir. As of this afternoon, I am very disappointed to say that I still have not received a response to this letter. Again, Mr. Speaker, the letter was dated June the 11th, 2009. My request to the Navy is simple, and the facts have not been disputed. With just over a week until the House adjourns for the August district work period, I will have to consider pursuing other options if the Navy fails to approve my request. If necessary, I will ask that the crash investigation be reopened, and I will take legislative action to clear the names of these two pilots. Mr. Speaker, I sincerely hope that the Navy will follow the example of the Marine Corps and help properly honor the sacrifice of these pilots who bravely gave their lives in service of this country. And with that, Mr. Speaker, as I do frequently, I will ask God to please bless our men and women in uniform in Afghanistan and Iraq. I will ask God to bless the families of our men and women in uniform. I will ask God in His loving arms to hold the families who've given a child dying for freedom in Afghanistan or Iraq. And Mr. Speaker, as I do in closing 3 times, I will ask God, please God, please God, please God, continue to bless America. And I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. Mr. Poe from Texas is recognized for 5 minutes.